I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. Fox News correspondent Jackie Heinrich questioned Jen Psaki on comments made by Austan Goolsbee. Goolsbee served as the former chair of the Council of Economic Advisors for President Obama. Heinrich claimed The Economist believed that President Biden is downplaying the potential for a recession. Psaki conceded that, quote, inflation is not where we want it to be. Take a listen for the White House press secretary's full response.
The mayor of Eagle Pass told my colleague down at the border today, and the mayor is a Democrat, by the way, that the border is not being effectively managed and asked the president to come and see it. Does the president have any plans to go to the border?
I don't have any plans to preview at this point in time. Certainly we're open to it, but no plans to preview.
Is it something he would consider doing before the Summit of the Americas, where he's set to meet with the leaders of Central and South America, see the situation firsthand before having that robust conversation?
Well, he's meeting with leaders of countries that he's traveled to many times, and certainly is very familiar with the issues that will be discussed, which is addressing root causes, coordinating, whether it's on the economic front or security front, and that's an initiative he led during the when he was vice president. So he's very familiar with those issues.
On the economy, Austan Goolsbee, the former chair of the Council of Economic Advisors under the Obama administration, said that he felt that the president yesterday in his comments about the GDP report was potentially underplaying the risks of a recession. And he pointed to geopolitical conditions with Ukraine, with Russia cutting off gas to Europe, and also GDP shrinking, saying that people should be nervous. How do you respond to that?
Well, I have a great deal of respect for Austan Goolsbee. He's a former colleague, and so does the president. But what we look at is a range of economic data, including economic data that was in the GDP numbers yesterday, which I did some explaining of yesterday. But some of the data that was in there show very encouraging signs that economists look at. Many independent economists monitor closely. American consumer spending, business investment, residential investment, all up. The decrease as it relates to exports is largely because our economy is stronger than many economies around the world, and the inventory numbers, which is kind of the number that went down, that brought it down, is in large part because the fourth quarter inventory numbers were the highest in history, and these numbers are done as a comparison from quarter to quarter. So I think we felt it was important to explain the data and what it means. We continue to monitor economic data. It's important to note that some important components of it are we created more jobs last year than any job in American history. We're at a very low unemployment rate, and while costs are high and inflation is not where we want it to be, the Federal Reserve continues to project that will come down by the end of the year. So our economists and our economic team continues to feel confident in the strength of the economy, even as we monitor a range of data.
Granholm said something, though, that was interesting about inflation coming down. She said, some economists are suggesting inflation is going to level off a bit, but it's just so hard to know because we don't know what's going to happen on the war on this. So she's seeming to also allude to geopolitical conditions that might not result in these projections coming to fruition.
Well, the Federal Reserve makes the official projections, right, for the government. What I will note, and I think maybe she was referring to, is even the new economic data we saw today, energy accounted for 61% of the reasoning for the increase in the inflation numbers. And we know that because of Putin's unprovoked invasion in Ukraine, that it's driving food costs, but also energy costs, and that is a huge driver. So that's why the president is taking a range of steps. The historic release from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, even the steps, certainly smaller as it relates to E15 today, to work to really target and focus on energy prices and costs.